Okay, 2017 NBA redraft. CJ, you have the first pick. Who are you taking?
It's not a tough one for me. If you've been following this show, I'm a Boston guy, Boston sports fan. Now, here's the thing. In the world of the redraft, at least how I see it, the Celtics are never going to give up their pick. So I still have the Celtics picking first overall. Because, as Danny Ainge put it, he had a guy he thought was the best player in the draft, and then he found out another team thought there was someone else better, hence he traded the pick. In my alternate universe, the Celtics still have the number one overall pick. So, with the first overall pick in the 2017 NBA redraft, Boyer's redraft, the Boston Celtics select Jason Tatum, the best player from the draft. They were going to take him. They viewed him as the best player regardless. They thought, because Philly wanted Markelle Fultz, we can trade back at Capital. The Lakers are enamored with Lonzo Ball. So Danny Ainge just played it the right way. But in reality, Danny Ainge thought Tatum was the best player, and he was going to draft the best player. So Celtics stay at 1. They don't make their trade, and they still get their champion superstar, who has been fixing his jump shot woes this offseason. Not sure if you saw that report today. He's been in the gym. He's grinding. He's hungry. He's motivated. Jason Tatum, though, easy pick for me. Best player in this draft. And I think everyone thought he was the best player in 2017. So,
see, the thing is I disagree with that, because there was a real, not Wembanyama LeBron level consensus, but in the draft community, there was a consensus that Markelle Fultz was going to be the guy. And I am really interested how things would have played out if Boston, because I do genuinely believe that they had Tatum at the top of their board, if Boston didn't get any offers that they liked and just picked Tatum, because Fultz was the guy. Fultz was the guy.
You are right. I was a little bit too high horsey there. Everyone in Boston knew Tatum was the best player, and that proved to be the case, because I do believe the reports that the Celtics, no matter what, were taking.
I believe that as well.
But you are correct, and I was a little too hot there. You're right. Fultz was the consensus number one overall pick amongst the draft community, but Danny Ainge, being a ball knower, knew deep down that Tatum was the guy. And, you could argue if Fultz went anywhere else but Philly, maybe he would be a successful basketball player. Something about that Philly stench, just couldn't get that off for him. So you are right. Fultz was considered that guy, and he didn't pan out to be that guy, unfortunately.
Yeah, and because that would have been a real shock, because everyone had been predicting Fultz since the end of the college basketball season. And I just really would have been interested to hear how the draft community would have reacted to hearing Tatum's name being called number one, because he was consensus top 3. He was pretty clearly, after Fultz and Lonzo, it was going to be Tatum. But I just would have really liked to see that, because we haven't gotten a real shock at the top of the draft in a while. We really haven't. I guess you could say Paolo in 2022, because remember all the smoke that was coming out about Jabari Paolo Smith being the guy. Okay. I have the number 2 overall pick. I have the Los Angeles Lakers, who obviously selected Lonzo Ball here. Lonzo played 2 years there, showed some promise, went to New Orleans, didn't do very much, left for Chicago, had a breakout year, and then next thing you know, has not played in 2.5 seasons. We'll see if he plays again. He's obviously not the selection here. I think the gap between 2 and 3 is not as big as some people would say, but the choice is definitely Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell is probably the second best player in this class. Maybe some people will argue for who I think you would pick at 3. He originally went 13th to Utah. He actually was, I believe, selected by Denver and then traded to Utah, if I remember correctly. Multiple-time All-Star. He has not led a team to a conference finals, which is, he had said that at Media Day or whatever not too long ago. He's an awesome player. He is a low-tier A player. He's a low-tier number 1 option in the NBA. Consistently 27 points per game. On occasion can play really good defense. An underrated playmaker. Fantastic athlete. Donovan Mitchell at 2. Imagine Donovan Mitchell getting drafted to the Lakers in 2017, and then LeBron comes over. Although, to be fair, he probably would have just been included in the Anthony Davis trade. If that happened, then the Pelicans would be stacked.
I actually can't imagine Donovan Mitchell on the Lakers because I didn't pick him to go second. I actually did a kind of a weird move. I have Mitchell going third in my draft to the 76ers, which I think would make sense because they were eyeing Fultz. Mitchell, so much better, obviously. So I had Mitchell going 3. I actually had Bam going 2. I think Bam, I've grown a lot on Bam. I think the Olympics helped with that. As a defensive player, maybe the best in the league, if not one of the best in the league. You don't need to get Anthony Davis if you have Bam. Or you could have both of them, as Steve Kerr showed. You can run them together in the same lineup in the Olympics. But I went Bam just because I think there's an importance of having bigs, right? And there's so many good guard scorers. And Donovan Mitchell is like a top 15, 20 player in this league. But so is Bam, and they have completely different skill sets. I just had Bam going above because I think he has such a well-rounded game, especially if you can keep working on that jump shot. Like, I just have grown to really like Bam. So I had Bam 2, and I had Donovan Mitchell 3 going to Philly. Everything you said is true. Donovan Mitchell is so good. The lack of playoff success has hurt him. I think we forget about him a little bit because of that. I think that series in the bubble where Jamal Murray overshadowed him definitely didn't help. He's great. I just think Bam might be a little bit better. So I took Bam over Donovan Mitchell.
I would agree in that I think Bam is a more unique player. I think you're right to say that a really 1 through 5 switchable walking top 12 defense, if you just put a bunch of Duncan Robinsons and Caleb Martins around him, it doesn't matter. You're going to be a good defense. That is more unique than the Donovan Mitchell combo guard can score 28 every single night and drop 70 on occasion and play make. Because you got him, you got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, you've got Devin Booker, you've got a couple of guys in that lower tier as well, the Jamal Murrays, and Bam, who is like Bam as a defensive player? It's him, Anthony Davis, and Wemby. Like, that's really it. Those are the only 3 guys. And even Wemby's like not on that like switchable, like do everything level.
That level of big defense, I think, just elevated him for me. But I have Donovan Mitchell going 3 to Philly. What about you for Phoenix? I know
Phoenix, easy choice here. De'Aaron Fox originally went 5 to Sacramento. I think you could argue Mitchell Adebayo. I had Mitchell, you had Adebayo. I think Fox is very clearly the 4th.
Yep. Completely agree.
I'm interested to see what you do here.
5, I'm going to go... this one was bold of me. I'm going to go Markkanen here.
Okay, that's what I am.
Good player, has improved a lot, can do a lot of things. I think if he was in Sacramento and then was able to team up with Sabonis, that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, I have Lauri Markkanen going 5th. I think he's a good player. Again, hasn't really been on these great teams, so we do forget about him, but he can ball for sure. He can do a lot. And he's gotten a lot better the last few years.
I mean, when he plays, like, single-handedly, Utah is like a 500 team, and then when he doesn't play, they're terrible, so they have to sit him to tank. So, at 6 here, the Orlando Magic, they took a great American patriot, Jonathan Isaac, with this selection. Unfortunately, as much as I love Jonathan Isaac, he does not go number 6 in this redraft.
Nope.
Just too many injuries, and I don't foresee him being like a 30-plus minute per game player in the future. I decided to go with the 22nd overall pick, Jared Allen, who went to Brooklyn. Jared Allen, by the way, feels like he's been in the NBA forever, right? He's younger than both of us. Younger than both of us. I know, obviously, Tatum's younger than us as well, but Jared Allen just feels like he's been in the NBA for 1,000 years. And he made an All-Star team a couple years ago. He's a fringe top 50 player in the NBA, one of the most underrated big defenders, great shot blocker. He's very switchable as well. I just think what Jared Allen provides you as a defensive anchor is really, really underrated. I think he's probably, you could say, the most underrated player in the NBA. I was somewhat close between my 6 and my 7, but I have Jared Allen to Orlando.
That's interesting. I have Allen actually going 7 now, back to me, to the Timberwolves. 6th, I had a guy that is going to keep getting better. He's got new teeth. He's getting in fights at football games. That'd be Derek White. So I had Derek White 6th to the Magic, Jared Allen 7th to Minnesota.
Yeah, so I had them swapped. And the difference for me is that I think White's peak right now, because I'm taking a lot into account. I'm taking who do I want going forward, career to this point, who's best right now. I think White's peak right now is better than anything Jared Allen has done. But I think Allen, up until this point, has had a more impressive career because he's made an all-star team. And Derek White, before he went to Boston, was a good player on San Antonio, but Brooklyn and early Cleveland Jared Allen was simply better. And also, you said he's going to keep getting better. Derek White is 4 years older than Jared Allen. Like, I don't think Derek White is getting much better. Jared Allen might. I understand, but I just think Jared Allen's consistency beats out Derek White's peak. Because as I said, I think Derek White right now is better than any version of Jared Allen we've seen. But I think Allen has been better so far in his career and has a longer career to go.
We agree to disagree, but we're in similar boat there. So who do you have the Knicks taking 8th?
I have the Knicks taking a guy who they did not take, but is currently on their roster. That is, I think you and I, this played out pretty well. I think you and I kind of had a read on this. OG Anunoby originally went 23 to Toronto. I would have considered him in the Allen White conversation. I am just concerned about the injuries piling up at this point. Yep. He hasn't played over 70 games in quite a while now. He's a great player. He's a great wing defender, probably the best wing defender. If you are going against a healthy prime Kawhi Leonard in a playoff series, I can't think of another guy in the NBA you would want over OG Anunoby to guard him. But offensively, he's just kind of relegated to a 3-and-D. Like, he's just going to shoot, not going to create a whole lot. And that's why I had White above him, even though inconsistency, because Anunoby's quite a bit younger than White as well. But I had White ahead just because White is a playmaker. He gives you a lot. And OG, offensively, he's not a bad offensive player. He's a good shooter. But it just doesn't offer you the offensive versatility that Derek White does. And Derek White's more durable. Yeah, OG Anunoby's missed a lot of time, and in a Tom Thibodeau offense and defense playing 79 games a year, 44 minutes a game, I'm not convinced that OG Anunoby isn't going to just deal with more and more ailments.
Yeah, I guess the thing I didn't really say, because I was talking about Jared Allen going 7th, but Jared Allen, you kind of know what you're going to get from him. I know you think his ceiling can grow. I'm not necessarily sure about that. I think Jared Allen might be tapped. But he is younger, so you never know. But you kind of know what Jared Allen's going to give you. You know what OG Anunoby is going to give you. Derek White can give you such a variety of things any given night that, to me, makes him more valuable than those two guys. They're all in a similar category, I think, when you look at the overall league ranking, player breakdown. But Derek White can get a chase down block on Jimmy Butler. He can also knock down 7 threes and a half. So, I think White, though older, is more durable, can just do more, in my opinion, and still could get better. So, but I agree these guys are in the right spot. The issue with Anunoby is going to be health. It's always been health.
Yeah, the thing with Derek White, I think the playmaking growth that we saw from him this year, the fact that he kind of was tasked with running a good portion of the Boston offense, and he serviced himself quite well, I would say. I think that would be the offensive separator for him over Allen and over Anunoby. And then I think after Anunoby here, I think we definitely hit another tier. Like, maybe we drop 2 tiers. Maybe we drop 2 tiers before.
It's a hodgepodge. This one could get a little funky. 9th to Dallas. I have OG Anunoby's teammate, Josh Hart. The reason I put Hart here is durability, the fact that he can play as many minutes as he does, what he gives you defensively, the jump shots improved, the offensive rebounding, just the overall the wing rebounding in general. I think he when I look at some of these other guys that are in this tier, they all have a flaw to me. I don't think Josh Hart has really any big glaring flaws, in my opinion. I think he can make winning plays. Some of these other guys might not give you that. So that's why I went Hart 9th.
I guess the flaw is just the shooting, but he's not a terrible shooter. He's
he's not terrible.
He's below average, but he's not awful.
But if he gets offensive rebounds, it almost undoes it. But who do you have 10th?
I think I'm going to throw you for a little bit of a curveball here. I don't think you're going to be expecting this one. So this pick went to Portland. They took Zach Collins here originally, who is now in San Antonio. I'm going to go with another big. I'm going to go with the newest member of the Oklahoma City Thunder, Isaiah Hartenstein.
Interesting.
At number 10. If you're looking at some of the guys who are yet here available, I think obviously right now he's way better than any of the guys below him, I would say, beyond a shadow of a doubt. And I think that vaults him above like the career accomplishments of some of the lower ranked players.
Okay. For the record, who did you have 9th? I'm just curious.
9th, I had Isaiah Hartenstein. So I just moved him down. Oh, this is your
9th. Then what's 10?
So I just moved him down because you took him. For 10, I put Kyle Kuzma. And I don't like it. That's
exactly
Kyle
why
Kuzma.
I have a 10 as well.
I hate having him there. I really, really do. I don't think Kyle Kuzma is a particularly useful NBA player. I know, remember the report that Dallas wanted him and he said to Washington, like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I think that just kind of shows the guy that he is. He's just, let me get my 22 points per game. Don't care about winning. Got my ring with the Lakers. And you know what? Let me go on a quick rant here. I think his role in the Lakers championship in 2020, it's a bit overstated. He was certainly not the third best player on that team. We forget who do you remember who the third best player on that Lakers team?
KCP.
No.
Oh, Rondo.
It was Rondo. Playoff Rondo was the third best player on that Lakers team. And Kuzma was a lot more of a sixth best player who could sometimes be your third, sometimes would be your 10th best player. Then he was like, oh yeah, this guy's always your third best player. I have him at 10. Don't like it. Don't really like it just because I'm not a fan of him as a player, honestly.
So I have Hart, Kuzma. You have Hartenstein,
Kuzma. So now we're at Charlotte.
Number 11. I always try to have a pick that doesn't move. And that is this pick. Malik Monk remains going to Charlotte. I think that's Malik Monk is really, really good. Really good. I think he's improved tremendously. I have Kuzma above him, which I don't love, but I think Kuzma, if he was just a touch more like into it, could do better things than Malik Monk. But Malik Monk's a gamer. He's a baller. He's fucking sick.
He was so good for Sacramento last year, and losing him was a huge reason why they flamed out so quickly. I think, honestly, if we were drafting based on who do you want going forward, you got to put Monk above Kuzma, right? Like if you had the choice, the Celtics could add Monk or Kuzma, you're taking Monk, right?
Yeah, there was a lot of reporting last year that Kuzma might go to the Celtics or some bullshit.
There was?
It was stupid. I don't want to even acknowledge it. But I agree. But this is overall look. And Kuzma had a good start to his career. Let's not forget.
Yeah.
So
he won a ring. You can't take that away.
No. Who do you have going to Detroit?
So I had Detroit taking Hart.
Okay.
So I had Detroit taking Hart. Everything that you had said before, I echo. Great offensive rebounder. Yep. Team player. Seems like everybody loves him. Remember when him and Larry Nance got traded for each other and they're just like, hey, you want to just trade houses?
Yeah, very fun.
I was listening to Larry Nance on Brian Windhorst podcast. He did a live show in Akron, and Larry Nance lives in Akron. And he was saying, yeah, I'm pretty sure Josh Hart's Rottweilers like tore up the couches. Which I thought was very funny. But yeah, Josh Hart, not much more can be said about him. Just really versatile player. You can throw him out there in any big game, and he would never look out of place.
13th is where I have Denver. I have Hartenstein here. It just helps Denver's defense. You have a lot of bigs. Maybe you move on from Nurkic. Nurkic was still on Denver in 2017, I think. So
I think 17 or 18 is when they traded him.
Yeah, so you move him sooner. Hartenstein could be good defensive help. I think Hartenstein, him getting thrust in the starting lineup showed how good of a player he is, but I think he, coming off the bench, is a really good player as well. But I had him going 13 to Denver. He's a good player, for sure.
So remember...
If it's a year later, maybe I'm moving him up.
Yeah. So remember, 13 you said to Denver, but that pick was traded to Utah.
Oh, correct. So it doesn't even matter.
Because that was Donovan Mitchell. And I had in here a guy who is actually on Utah right now, John Collins. I had him going 13.
I have him next. I have him going to Miami.
If we did this redraft 2 years ago, John Collins would be like 9, 10, like he maybe 8.
But now
this guy has fallen so far from grace. I still think he's got talent. I just thought the situation in Utah was far from perfect. Playing him along, it was a bad Walker Kessler year.
Yeah.
They were like, Jordan Clarkson was the worst player in basketball. They were running Keontae George a little bit too much. I still believe John Collins, if he goes elsewhere, can do something. But yeah, I think those 10 trillion consecutive trade rumors from Atlanta really did a number on him. Remember that media cycle? That was
horrible.
Okay, what was worse? The Chris Haynes, Dame's going to get traded, but he's going to go to Miami, or Dame's happy in Portland news cycle, or the Atlanta Hawks are looking into trading options for John Collins news cycle?
Dame was without a doubt the worst because it was so much hit over your head. But the John Collins years of suffering, exodus,
poor guy,
is pretty bad. I still think the Dame was a low point for sure. Dame was the 2016 media coverage of the NBA, meaning election coverage. I'm not saying that happened in 2016. Miami for 14th, last pick here. Who do you got?
Speaking of elections.
Oh no.
I hear that
vote red. Miami does go red usually.
No, they don't vote red. They just vote more red than most big cities do. Like, most cities are like 80-20. Miami is like 60-40. But Miami will be taking a true patriot, Jonathan Isaac. I know he found himself in Orlando, but I hear they didn't like the lawsuit in that city that our great governor, Ron DeSantis, sued him. And Disney and Big Orlando won. Not fair. So we're going to a much more patriot-friendly city, Miami. Jonathan Isaac to the Heat.
You saying Big Orlando is a crazy thing to say.
I meant to say Big Disney, and it just came out as Big Orlando.
Big Orlando. You love Jonathan Isaac. He is my honorable mention. He does not get drafted. I actually have Dylan Brooks going and not Jonathan Isaac.
Yeah, Dylan Brooks was my first honorable mention right off the list. Isn't it crazy that we just went 1 through 14 and neither of us said the guy who went first or the guy who went second? Pretty remarkable.
Guy who went fourth?
Yeah, or the guy who went fourth is like, Josh Jackson's terrible. Like, you immediately knew with Josh Jackson. With Markelle Fultz, there were a couple years where you're like, I know the shooting thing is weird, but like he had a triple double when he was like 18 or whatever, and you're like, maybe could put it all together. Obviously, he's still a free agent. He's not signed to a team currently. And then obviously Lonzo, if he did it.
You kind of knew about Lonzo too, though. You kind of was like, this feels Hollywood. Then like the big baller brand, LeVar. You kind of knew with Lonzo as well at this. And he did become a good player, and it's sad what's happened to Lonzo, and I respect Lonzo. But when he was coming up, we kind of knew what was going to happen.
After the first year in LA, you kind of knew that he wasn't number 2 overall pick material. No. But then obviously what he did in Chicago, if you just said he didn't get injured and played at that level, didn't improve, he probably goes right after Anunoby. I would say he'd be the 9th best player in this class.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, just
Magic Johnson mode there.
Yeah.
Little Lonzo ball. Let's go through your list real quick. I got a couple more.
I just want a couple more shout outs. Monty Morris, 51st pick. Not really a shout out because he went in the lottery and fell, but Luke Kennard, he's still hanging out there. He's all right. He's not bad. He's a 9th man. So to go over it real quick, I had Philadelphia at 1. You had Boston because you of course had to have your Celtics taking Tatum. I don't know why I didn't think you would do that. That was very obvious in hindsight.
Yeah.
A real oversight. So You had Boston taking Tatum at number 1. I had LA taking Donovan Mitchell at number 2, where you had Bam Adebayo going. I had Boston or Philadelphia, whatever you want to say, taking Adebayo at 3. You had Mitchell. 4, Phoenix Suns taking De'Aaron Fox. 5, Sacramento Kings taking Lauri Markkanen. 6, Orlando. I had Jared Allen. You had Derek White. We flip-flopped on number 7. I had Derek White. You had Jared Allen. Number 8, we both had New York taking Anunoby, right?
Correct.
OG Anunoby. He plays for the New York Knicks.
Did you just make that up?
Yeah, I actually did.
That's really impressive. We should clip that out. That could go viral for sure.
Yeah.
Record that, can be a sound. 9th, I had Josh Hart to Dallas. What'd you have?
I had Isaiah Hartenstein. Then I had Portland taking Kuzma at 10. Who'd you have at 10? Yeah, Kuzma. Okay. And then I had Josh Hart going 11 to Charlotte. Oh, no, sorry. I had Malik Monk going 11 to Charlotte. Josh Hart going 12 to Detroit. Utah taking John Collins at 13. And then our great American Patriot, Jonathan Isaac, going at 14.
Yeah, I had Dylan Brooks 12, Hartenstein 13, John Collins 14. So pretty aligned there. A good draft, bunch of good players there.
Yeah.
Good work, dude. 27 redraft in the books. I salute you, Jonathan Isaac style.